Alright, I'm back for part 2 of the third phone call. Remember what I said about the "K, cool, I'm sorry"? That you could really do like 90% of the discussion with those 3 sentences. Here, Kayla could really say something like, "Okay," and that would be fine. I mean, let's face it, if you want to have a real dialogue with someone, if someone repeats the 3 same sentences, like Kayla does online, with the K, cool. If you want to have a real discussion with someone, it's really annoying. Like, you want the person, not to answer automatically. You want the person to think about his reply and listen to you. Somebody that replies that kind of stuff, and usually they use the intonation. So if you sound accusatory, technically speaking, you could have a dialogue without even hearing the word, just the tone. If the person sounds accusatory like that, you say, "I'm sorry." If he sounds like a small discourse, like, "Oh, blah, 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 blah," like that, I'm going to show what I mean after that. But if somebody does that, you say "K." If the person is enthusiastic, you can say "cool." For example, like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." You say "Sorry." "I'm sorry." If the person says "blah, blah, 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 blah," "K." "Blah, blah, 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 blah," "cool." You know what I mean? Just by the intonation, you can basically answer automatically. A robot could do it. Like, you could program Kayla Robot 2.0. Like, even at one point, Lorne, even I don't remember 10K. So at one point, Lorne, I want to hear you talk. Give me a second. I'm gonna find it. But at one point, he basically gets sick of her saying K. That's here. I found. I'm so happy. That's here. Like, "I'm gonna find another job." He doesn't even have enough money to drive to her place. And now he's like, "I'm gonna find another job. It won't take me long to find one. There's a high demand for fucking scammers with no education like me. But I'm serious when I tell you to practice having your legs wide open too. Okay? Okay? Kiss, kiss. I love you, Kayla Mary Armstrong." Here is really the part where she should say "cool." But he doesn't say anything. "Rose, I'm gonna let you go to bed now, precious. I'm going to blah blah. Okay? I love you." I guess that's the fourth catchphrase. "Good night, my precious princess. Delete your archives." Okay. "Say something to me other than K. I want to read something good from you." Even Lorne, even that dumbass, eventually realizes that she's completely not in it, Let's go.
I'm glad.
She should have said "cool."
I was talking to you.
And she sounds like, right there, Kayla, she sounds like if you call an erotic line, the 1-800 or 1-900, like the erotic lines, and you always ask for candy, for example. And I'm not talking out of experience, not at all, but if you always ask for candy, and you call her like every time you're horny, and eventually she starts to know who you are, She's like, "Oh, that guy." She remembers you because you call so often. That's the kind of stuff Candy would say, like, "I miss talking to you." She's not sincere. Not even a little bit. You're hoping she's sincere because, wow, a woman's interested in me. But Candy doesn't give a shit about you, and she just says that because she knows it's gonna make you call more. That's basically the way Kayla talks. She's trying very hard to sound sincere, like, "I miss talking to you," but you just know she doesn't give a damn. She's like, "How long is this gonna take? Fuck, I hate my job. Fuck you." "I miss talking to you."
You was talking to me.
And Lorne, bye.
Talking to you too.
Cool.
Pretty voice.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, do you have a portable phone?
That's what he says.
It's a quarter.
And here, I never realized before, but it's kind of a trap. Like, if she says, "No, it's just a regular phone with the cord." "Oh yeah? Why did it take you so long to find it?" It's like a trap, but it's very subtle, and I don't even think Lorne realized the trap he was laying there. Because let's face it, if Lorne wanted to catch her lying, it wouldn't be very hard. All he has to do is ask a specific question, very specific, and she's gonna pull a Ned Buckeye. In Ned Buckeye, eventually he asks, like, "What do your parents do for a living?" And the decoy is like, "They work like computers, like." And she says, "You don't even know what your parents do for a living." And at one point, Lorne actually managed to nail the decoy. He actually asked the decoy, like, when are your parents leaving? I don't know. Where are they going? They didn't tell me. Like, fuck, you're 13 years old, your parents are leaving you alone at home, and they don't even tell you where they're going? That's because online in the chat, she actually tells him, like, they're going to Las Vegas. But Lorne asked that question. Lorne could have said, you don't know where they're going, but online you said they were going to Vegas. That's how he could have caught that he was a decoy. But Lorne is way too dumb. It's so obvious. I mean, it's crazy.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I keep calling it portable. So are you looking at me right now, too?
Same question he always asks.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
And one thing I did learn, I thought that it was done like with someone else completely, but when there's a call like that, Southern Aphrodite actually saw him. So I don't know how they did that. Maybe they did the computer like share screen stuff. I like to think that's what they did. Or maybe she was like I don't know, at the Perverted Justice Mansion. I really don't know, but I'm really happy to know that she was seeing him, and she must have felt grossed out. Like, she did post about Lorne, and she says like every phone call got more and more disgusting, and we're gonna come to that.
What are you thinking?
That's kind of a bizarre question. You always ask that, like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
So Lorne is naked and he said, are you looking at me? Yeah. What are you thinking? And that's his way to get her to say something about, like, you have a nice penis, Lorne. That's his way to get into cyber sex over the phone. And the decoy is really, really not gonna bite. But, you know, are you looking at me right now? You can tell he's naked, you know. First, because he's always naked. Second, why else would he ask? Like, he's naked, he's talking to her on the phone, he says, I wish you were here right now. So Lorne, during that phone call, he's super horny. And he wants, you know, sexual gratification. Really, that's what he wants. And he wants her to basically tell him stuff about what they're going to do together as sex. You know, when they're together, to get some, oh, God, I'm so excited. So it's pretty gross. It's really a gross, disgusting, vile conversation. And Lorne doesn't feel any shame to have that kind of discussion with someone over the phone. That, forget the age, even an adult, it would be disgusting, you know. Maybe with your girlfriend, but they never met. The fact that he's saying that to a kid, I fail to understand how anyone can feel any pity for that piece of shit. Like, holy shit, that's a fucking maniac. And now the decoy is really not gonna want him to go into cyber. I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. So he says, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And he says the funniest line of all the phone calls.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I wish I was there with you right now. If I was, you'd be naked.
Like an animal, you know, like if we were together, you'd be naked. Lorne, I don't know where we got those visions, but Lorne's vision of a relationship is very clearly the man decides and the female obeys. It's very like, basically, Lorne considers women to be pieces of trash, to be inferior human being. Like, I'd be keeping you naked. Like, what if she doesn't want to be naked, Lorne? What if she doesn't want to remove her clothes? What are you going to do then? You know, but he doesn't care about that. No. She belongs to him. He does whatever the hell he wants to her. If you were there, you'd be naked. And he says, keeping you naked in the whole time, like, keeping you. I'm going to try to find it, but he says in the pornography, that kind of stuff. And he says later on, we're going to say, don't get you pregnant. So he said there, I'll be keeping you naked. That's where he says it. That's a bit before that. Like, he asked that, but the way he says, I'll be keeping you naked, it's like an object. Like, I'll keep my computer in a good state, you know, or I'll keep my car clean, or I'll keep Kayla naked. That's how he presents it. He doesn't ask, you know, what if she doesn't want to be naked with him? What if she doesn't want to be naked all the time? Just, you know, she wants to wear clothes normally. He's not giving her a choice. No. You do that, and it's so disgusting. What a vile piece of shit.
Really Really?
And the decoy here kind of loses it. Like, I understand her, okay? I have to say this about the decoy before, you have to be focused when you do that kind of phone call. You don't want to mess it up. Especially not after 3 weeks of chatting when there's a plan of him showing up. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to be like, make mistakes and flip out. So you have to be very focused and you have to be very attentive. But when he says that, she loses it. You can just hear in her voice, you can hear the woman beneath Kayla, and she's like, really? Like, she's grossed out. There's no mistake. And I'm grossed out too. I'm not saying she's wrong. She did her best, and she's like, if I was, you'd be naked. And she's like, really? And it probably took a lot of force for her not to hang up right there. That's probably what I would have done. Like, fuck you, pervert. Imagine how, I'm a guy. Imagine if I had like a girl much older than me calling me and saying that stuff to me. I would be creeped out, and I'm a guy, It's less worse, and I'm an adult. Imagine, I'm a grown adult. Imagine Satan and Friday, she's a 19-year-old girl, and they're that old pervert, and she has to look at the screen and he's naked, and let's agree that Lorne doesn't have the most beautiful body, and she has to listen to that. I feel it probably took a lot of force for her not to puke. In fact, after the phone call, she probably went and cleaned her throat with bleach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that she had the phone call, the pranks. And then he really tried to push it, but you can tell that Kayla is not into it at all, but he really wants his cyber sex. He wants her to go like, I'll do oral sex, and I'll do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know why he pushes her so much when she's clearly not into it. Maybe he doesn't realize that she's not into it. I guess that is a way of cementing the deal, like... well, we already talked about what we were going to do over the phone, not just online on the chat, but over the phone. So that seals it, And he wants also to get her to grow accustomed to the idea. That's something you learn in sales, and a little bit of sales. Again, it's pretty crazy, because I'm sure Lorne never studied sales, but he gets it naturally. Lorne is a natural. He understands the general principles of selling in general. I don't understand why. Maybe his brothers were good and they taught him. Maybe he just gets it naturally. But when you go, let's say you want to buy a used car, which is a terrible idea, they know that they have to make you love the car. They cannot go and just say, buy, sign here, They have to make you like it. They have to make you grow accustomed to the idea, So little by little, they're going to introduce more and more elements until you eventually sign. But at the beginning, if they come to you and say, hey, you're looking at that car, sign here to buy it, you're never going to buy it, Same for Kayla. If Lorne shows up naked at her house and says, okay, touch Mr. Penis, she's never going to do it. So Lorne goes with small steps. They chat about it. He shows himself to her. He talks about depraved stuff. And then he talks to her. That's his way, not really escalation, but getting her to grow accustomed to the idea. Lorne is an excellent sexual predator. If there was like a Nobel Prize for it, Lorne would probably be a candidate for it, along with Jean-Pierre Wary. But he's very good at trying to rape her, and it would have maybe worked with a kid. But at the same time, another stuff that Lorne does well, he never puts too much pressure. He knows when to back down, because the decoy is not going to go into that shit. She's going to make him back down, and Lorne knows when not to overextend. So he's a pro. Lorne is a pro child rapist.
Would you want to be?
And then he asked a question here.
I guess so.
He asked the only question, like, would you want to be? This is the only question that you cannot avoid. Most of the time, the decoys online are going to say stuff like, if you want me to, or do you want me to, like, do you want to have sex with me? I don't know, do you want me to? Well, yes, why do you think I asked? But now, he asked a question, do you want to be? You cannot dodge the question. And now, why doesn't she just say, yes? Many reasons. First, she wants to avoid all appearances of entrapment, Like, Lorne could have used that for his lawsuit, like, well, she said she wanted to be naked with me. So again, it doesn't really fit little kids. Little kids are not going to say yes directly, especially when they're nervous. They're going to go kind of around, like, if you want me to and all that. And that's very good from Perverted Justice, by the way. But here, she really cannot dodge the question. She cannot say, for example, do you want me to? It wouldn't be natural over the phone, and that would pressure Lorne to keep asking about it. Of course I want you to. Do you want to? And then she would have to say, I guess. So that's why he asked that question. He really wants his cyber sex right away. And he goes into it, straight into it, by the way. 1 minute 42. And he goes straight into like his cyber sex bullshit. He knows their time on the phone is limited. He wants to maximize it. Lorne is so good at what he does. I hate him for that.
Would you want to be?
I guess so.
I guess so. You can see that she's really hesitating. It's not a role. She's like, holy shit, what am I getting into, you know? At that point, Sutton, Aphrodite, was probably studying like the pension plan of perverted justice, wondering if it was worth it. Like, you know, do I at least get a good pension for what I do? Like, this is tough. It looks easy, but trust me, when you have that Morin speaking to you,
Okay.
and then listen to that sentence. Beautiful.
Would you want me to be?
After that one. You see how he's not backing down? He wants her to answer positively. He goes with a small step, and now he wants some progress. Like, now I want her to say that. And if she says that, it's going to go to the next level. It's like Mario Bros, you know. Let's say you're playing Super Mario Bros. 3. Lorne is on level like 4.2. And he wants to get level 4.3, but to finish the level, he has to jump over a big gap. And this is the gap he's gonna try to go over. If she says yes, boom, you just crossed a step in the relationship, at least according to him, because now she says yes over the phone. That's another thing done. Progress, you know. It's like a guy trying to like date a girl, and he's like, first I'm going to ask her name, then her phone, then I'm gonna add her on Facebook, then we're gonna go for a coffee, then we're gonna go to the restaurant, then we're gonna invite her home, blah blah blah. That's basically what Lorne does, but to a kid and in a pervert version.
If you wanted to.
Again, that
Of course I want to.
a wrong
I want to be
question.
naked with you. I love you. Why wouldn't I want to be naked with you?
And this sentence here sounds stupid, but it's so brilliant. I love you. Why wouldn't I want to be naked with you? That sentence is brilliant. That's a masterpiece. Like, there's so much I could say about that sentence. I could make a 30 minutes video about it. And in fact, I'm going to. So let's continue. Well, I'm actually going to say very quickly what it is. I'm not going to make a 30 minutes video. What's brilliant about it is that basically first, it shows that Lorne's equates love and sex. For Lorne, love and sex, I love you, I want to be naked with you. It's the same. You know, there are many relationships that is purely platonic. You know, there's never going to be any sex, never any physical contact, but they're still in love. Lorne cannot understand that. Lorne cannot understand the beauty of love. In fact, he cannot understand human relationships at all. You know, he has no idea how a couple works. In his mind, when two people love each other, they just have sex. That's what it is. Like, they're naked together. When you love someone, Lorne, sometimes you won't have sex for like weeks and months after meeting them. But Lorne doesn't see it like that. And it really proves that Lorne didn't love Kayla. He lusted Kayla. He never, ever, ever loved her. Of course, I made a video about it that he talked to other decoys. And people were kind of like, oh, this is not a relation. It is. Because it proves without a doubt that Lorne never loved Kayla. Didn't give a shit about her. She was a toy meant to fulfill his needs. And that's, when he says that sentence, it shows that Lorne is 100% piece of shit. I love you. Why wouldn't I want to be naked with you? And that's his way of manipulating her. You know, Kayla, you're in need of love because your parents don't love you and they just yell at you and scream at you and they ignore you. But love and being naked are the same thing. So when we meet, we're going to be naked together, but that's because we love each other. If we're not naked together, you're not going to get the love you crave, Kayla. That sentence is brilliant. Lorne is a genius. I think I'm ready. I'm ready to say it now. Lorne is an absolute genius when it comes to abusing children. It's unbelievable how good it is. Up to a point where it's almost impossible that he never did that before. Like, he probably did it dozens and dozens of times in every state. You know, he's been in every state except Hawaii. He probably tried to rape kids in every state he went to, using that kind of sentences, which is very efficient. Like, do you love me, Kayla? You love me? Well, you must want to be naked with me. And it's unreal. And I don't even think that Lorne realized how brilliant it is. It just does it. Lorne is truly a god at this, a god at this. He's so good. It's crazy. It comes to him so naturally. There's a great flow in the way he talks. He never hesitates. He never thinks about what he's going to say. It just comes to him naturally. I'm repeating myself, but that's really what it is. And that's the most fascinating aspect of the 1 minute 58. I did 40 minutes. That's going to take a while. Talk to you soon, guys.